On everybody, this is Talkin Hands. We are back live previewing UFC 252, Cormier versus Miocic 3. I'm your host, Preston Ekdahl, as always, joined by my co-host, Slaughterhouse1 on Twitter. Jeff, how are we doing for this week?
What's up, everyone? We're doing pretty good. We're ready to get rocking and rolling, breaking down this card, finding some spots. It would have been a good card, I think, if you could have bet early in the week, but these lines have fucking blown up, and now it's starting to get a little bit risky, in my opinion. But we're going to break it down, and we're going to have some fun. And tomorrow night, it's going to be a hell of a card. Even if you don't have a lot of action, you sit back, watch, and there should be some fireworks for sure.
Yeah, I think the main pay-per-view card is pretty good. Undercard's a little lacking, but yeah, we'll get there. Before we start, we will hit our sponsors real quick. As always, if you suffer from stress, anxiety, joint pain, PTSD, or insomnia, stop by Natural Heights. They are located at 1880 Nacogdoches Road. Phone number 210-592-1060. And if you're going to watch us tomorrow night, we're going to have Dired MMA Clint on the show. Make sure to bet with us. We use mybookie.ag. If you decide to bet with us, you can use promo code PUBSPORTS. You deposit a minimum of $99. You'll get a 50% deposit bonus match. Promo code PUBSPORTS. Bet with us, mybookie.ag. So we can start our breakdown here of the card. We open up with, I believe, a featherweight bout between Kai Kamaka III taking on Tony Kelly.
Okay, let's see.
And there might not be odds for this one. I know it's pretty...
Golly, there's nothing yet.
Yeah, so some other websites have Kai Kamaka at 225, Tony Kelly plus 180. Jeff, do you have anything on this or much on this?
I like the Kakaika kid, the Kaya. I'm gonna call him Kaya. He's kind of that Hawaiian warrior. Throws a lot of volume, good hand speed. Always moving forward. Tough ass Hawaiian warrior type fighter. Looks like he likes to sit in the pocket and bang. And he's got heavy hands, man. He scrambles. I like his scrambling ability. The fact that he's kind of been in that Louisiana scene, the LFA, things like that. They produce some good fighters out there. They're tough guys. And this other guy, Kelly, man, he's been off for, I think, 5 years or 4 years or something like that.
Yeah, he had one fight, I think, last year, and then he didn't fight till 2016. So, yeah, it's been a while.
Exactly, and that's been a while. What I do know about him is he's decent at kind of everything, but not great at any. And I just think it's past his prime, man. I think that I'm going, this Kaya kid, I think he's going to come out there and probably put it to Keller and probably win a decision by volume.
Yeah, so yeah, I pretty much agree. I didn't really watch a ton of this, but from what I watched, Kai Kamaka looked like he threw more, a little more active, was getting in and out. The other good thing is he's the younger fighter by 8 years. Kelly, with his inactivity, who knows, how hard he's training. We don't know a whole lot about him. And, I think – and I do think this is going to be more of a stand-up fight. Kelly – he has one fight versus Kevin Aguilar, which is on YouTube. I watched that.
Yeah, I did watch that, but he used his face as a punching bag, to block punches. He was taking them hard.
Yeah, he didn't look that great. Like, he was moving a bit, but that was the other thing. He didn't really throw a lot either. So I think Kamaka should win. 225, though, debut fighter. This is probably a pass fight.
Exactly.
Just because you really don't know what will happen. So
I don't know what the over and under is, but I would imagine maybe the over would probably be a good look.
Yeah, it's probably 2.5. It might be like even money or something. So
if it's even money, I'd give it a shot because I don't see like anything too threatening from the Hawaiian kid. Although he does have some heavy hands, he could always get that TKO or KO. But I think Kelly kind of. I could see this going over 2.5.
Yeah, and it's just first fight of the night. You don't want to throw all your eggs, in that basket, so to speak. So. Move on. Chris Dawkins taking on Parker Porter. Two big boys, heavyweight action.
Two big boys. Parker Porter has faced, looking at his record, he's faced John Jones back in the day. Got cleaned up pretty good. But Parker Porter minus 120 versus the older, bigger brother of the younger Dawkins. This is the bigger Dawkins. Not nearly as talented as the other one.
Right.
And both these guys, man, I hate to say it, but this is just not a UFC fight, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't know why this is on the card. You know, I know they're stretching for fights right now, but this is not quality UFC, in my opinion. Parker, you know, he's a big guy, got decent boxing.
Mm-hmm.
He uses that jab real good. He has a double jab with the overhand right, likes to throw the double jab. He'll mix in some kicks, but ultimately I think he wants to take the ground and take the back and sub this guy. The other guy, man, he's just kind of a big, heavy wing and punch, is looking for that big punch KO. I didn't see anything as far as grappling or anything really from him other than some slow winging punches that he obviously have power and he's going to have the power edge, but he just looks sloppy to me, man, Chris Daukaus. And for that reason, I think the one thing I noticed about Parker is he's heavy on top. Like he will control you and grind you on top. He's not going to be dangerous with the ground and pound, but he's always looking to take that back and get that submission. And he is a either a brown belt or a black belt. Let me look in my notes. Brown belt, black belt. What is he? Doesn't quite matter. He's a brown belt. Yeah, exactly. So I think he's going to take the back, get the win, first or third round sub.
Yeah, I know this one, I believe the round prop is actually 1.5. So if you have strong guess there, you could go there. But I agree. I thought Parker Porter, watching the fights that he's had versus Daukaus, I thought he looked quite a bit more impressive. Physique-wise, he doesn't look great. Kind of sloppy looking, but, surprisingly quick hands. And, he was able to get the fight to the ground. I think it was the last fight I saw. He was against a guy who looked much better physically, but the other guy just kind of wilted under the pressure. Porter put it on him a bit and got the finish late. Daukaus's, I believe it was the last fight I watched, didn't really do much. Hit the guy with a very sloppy looking head kick, knocked him out. The guy protested, or really wasn't nothing to protest because he was knocked out. And prior to that, just kind of like a stand-up guy, big, bulky. Just to me, this is a fight that we could see at Cowboys Dance Hall in San Antonio, Texas, not on UFC 252 at the Apex.
I agree.
This is a pretty lousy fight because even if I think Porter has the better skills and probably fought the better competition, Daukaus is the younger guy. So, he might have a little more, ways to go up, improve a bit, but I'm going to take Porter here. Porter maybe by decision. I think over 1.5 is not bad. But again, heavyweight, small cage. Anything really could happen. But
yeah, I forgot to read the lines, didn't I? Porter minus 120, Daukaus minus 110, over and under, over minus 120, under minus 110. Yeah, I could see the over too.
Yeah, so I would lean over and Parker Porter, but
I am looking at that prop bet real quick because I do think Porter with the brown belt can take this dude back and sub him. He's pretty good on the ground. By submission, Parker Porter plus 800.
Yeah, that's not
you
bad.
Heard it first right here.
Yeah, that's not bad if you want to just have some fun money and throw it around. So okay, move on. Fight 3, Liviana Souza taking on Ashley Yoder.
Liviana Souza is minus 160. Ashley Yoder coming in at plus 130. Over and under 2.5. The over, juiced as always, minus 355. Under, plus 280. Tough fight, man, because this is like Souza really has, she's, in my opinion, probably the better fighter, but she's going to have a big disadvantage in the size. Yoder, I don't think, she's so big and long, and the thing about her is she lacks a little something, man, like heart or will or something. She folds a lot. She gives up. I've seen her in the third round just take the guard, like be okay with that. Souza is a true jiu-jitsu black belt. I mean, she can scramble her ass off. Even though she is smaller, she can scramble her ass off and take Yoder's back to sub. Yoder, I think, has to win this fight kind of in the clinch up against the fence. If that happens, we saw it last week with the one girl fight against the little sub artist.
Yeah, Yana
Yeah,
Kunitskaya,
yeah. I can see something similar like that. But the difference is, I'm not, I don't have any. There's nothing that really threatens me if I'm Souza. Yoder doesn't have tons of power. She's not very good at really anything. She's looking to kind of just smother you with her size and lay on top of you, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not much ground and pound while she's down there. Not much sub attempts. Just the control. And I think with someone like a true black belt like Souza, that could be difficult for Yoder. And Souza's going to work. She's going to scramble. She has the ability to do that. This comes down to the third round, man. And if Yoder takes her back or falls to her back and takes guard or anything like that, this is going to come down to will. And I think the tougher girl out of the two is Souza. So I'm going to lean her away at -160.
Yeah, I think Souza on the feet has a pretty good advantage. She looks like she has a better Muay Thai clinch, faster hands. Yoder, what I've seen in her fights is she is able to kind of what you're saying, smother you, get you down. She's always going to try to grapple, eke out rounds, and win decisions. Kind of not really exciting, but that's how she fights. Souza, my only issue with Souza is she did kind of wilt a bit late against Sarah Frota, and then she lost to Brianna Van Buren, who we know is more of a wrestler type, but she's very small. Van Buren's like 4'10", and she controlled Souza pretty good. I personally, I think Yoder can control her and win a decision, but if Souza can keep this on the feet, I think Souza can light her up pretty good. But with women's fights, especially with the run we've been on with women's fights, I don't think this is a great betting opportunity. But
no.
Yeah, I'm going to take Yoder by decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if Souza could clip her and finish her.
Yeah, and by no means am I betting this fight. There's plenty of other fights on this card. I mean, there's no reason, fellas, out there to bet on this fight. Why would you? Anything could happen in women's MMA. Either of these ladies can win. There's just not a ton of value there, in my opinion. I mean, one could say you're getting the +130 on Yoder. She's the bigger, badder girl. Mm-hmm. But is she really the badder girl? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I just think there's too many other fights to bet on. I wouldn't risk my money on that.
Yeah, no, I agree. So we move on. TJ Brown missed weight today, taking on Danny Chavez.
Yep. And TJ Brown comes in -150. Chavez is catching the points at +120. Over and under 2.5, over -110, the under -120. Preston, what do you got here?
Yeah, so TJ Brown actually doesn't look too bad when you watch his fights. His Contender Series fight, he just kind of fights. He's a little wild, too reckless, though. So he had good hands, good grappling. He won the fight with a nice sub, kind of put the guy out after, working him pretty good, but was just fighting really recklessly. He got a point deducted. I think he hit the guy with a knee on the ground, took a point away. So he fought with some good urgency and really started to put on the guy, gets him out the sub. Last fight, fights Sean Griffin. Pretty close fight. He just kind of put himself in a bad position to get choked out and loses that fight. He fights here, UFC debutant, Danny Chavez. I saw one. It was either a full fight or just a highlight. This guy took the other guy down pretty easily. Got him down, got his back, and tapped him out pretty easily. So Chavez looks to be the better. I would lean him with the jiu-jitsu, Brown with the striking. Again, another debut fight, another kind of coin flippy fight. I think Brown, though, is pretty good. I think Brown's going to win the fight, probably win a decision. With the size, he misses weight, so he should be the bigger guy even more. I think Brown can use his kickboxing, his punches, put on Chavez and secure a decision here.
Yeah, man. I'm kind of leaning in that direction too. I mean, like you said, I don't know anything about Chavez. I'm not going to bullshit y'all. I've read and seen that he's a black belt. I've seen he trains at a good gym, and I've seen the one clip that everyone's talking about, the leg kick, like the knocking somebody out. Like, I mean, it seemed to be like he's using more of a karate stance, taekwondo type stance, wide stance, throws a lot of kicks, and he's a true black belt, and I think he's a pretty good black belt. But TJ Brown, man, he's He's a big kid, dude. I mean,
yeah. He was a very
he's
big guy.
very strong. He's like kind of, great grappler. I mean, if he doesn't get caught in a sub, I think he has easy top game where he can control Danny Chavez. And the one thing that I've seen that Brown scares me on is he gets knocked down all the time. Like his chin is pretty chinny.
Yeah.
And that worries me. But if he uses his wrestling, his grappling, gets him in the clinch, takes him down, and just controls him on top, I think that's his path to victory. I don't think he's not bad on the feet by any means, but he just gets clipped.
Yeah, I think that's just he overextends himself. He puts himself into too much like the firefight type deal,
and again, we haven't seen him in what? It's been a while.
Yeah, he fought in February.
Okay. Then I must have missed that fight, but yeah, man, I like TJ Brown here. I think without knowing too much about Chavez, I think Brown's the only way I could go.
Yeah, I agree. I think Brown's kind of more a UFC fighter. We'll see
all around. Minus 150 is a good look. I mean, I would take a shot on that, I think.
Yeah, we'll see what how good Chavez is. So move on here. Felice Herrig, the returns off quite a long absence, taking on Verna Jandiroba.
Jandiroba is coming in at minus 305. And Herrig is plus 250 now 245. Over and under 2.5, minus 225, under plus 185. Man, yeah. So there's not much to say about Herrig. I've never been impressed with the girl. She doesn't look that great. I think she's on her way out. She's okay on the feet. Jandiroba, on the other hand, she doesn't do much on the feet. She's throwing some overhand rights, moving forward, only to get your ass down and submit you. Like that's her deal. Man, I wouldn't take anything on this fight. Jandiroba, I think, is going to win, and I do think the prop bet at 250 for Jandiroba by sub is a good look because she's either going to win by sub or by decision. So I'd take the shot with that plus 250 and call it a day, man. I don't like anything about Herrig. She's okay on the feet, but she's lost some of her recent fights even before I thought she wasn't any good. And let's see, I'm trying to look up. Yeah, her last two fights. Yep, she lost her last two fights. Yep. And when you're losing fights to Carolina, I mean, come on. She hasn't looked good in a while.
Yeah.
That was back in 2 years ago. So, I mean, and then she lost her last fight to Waterston. Yeah, I'm all over this other girl. I know she dropped one to and we bet on that fight, Carla Esparza. We bet against Carla Esparza, didn't we? Or did we?
No, so that was when I was with Timmy in Vegas, and I actually won with Carla Esparza.
You won with Carla, okay. And then she hits her last one with Mallory Martin by sub. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking her. I think she does enough to get Herrig down. Herrig doesn't look too great. I think Jandiroba can keep her down and get the back and sub her.
Yeah, I just so this is to me somewhat similar, not quite the same because I don't think Jandiroba's got the upside as an admin, and I don't think Herrig's as good as Derek Brunson, but in a similar kind of line value wise, I don't think Jandiroba should be 3-1. Now the issue is Herrig hasn't fought in almost 2 years, but Jandiroba, she's kind of, to me, when I watched her fight, she looked like old school Damian Maia, where she's definitely needing to get this fight to the ground. Really has to work it to get to the ground. I don't think Herrig's some like killer on the feet or anything, but I think on the feet, she's more capable than Jandiroba. I agree. Jandiroba probably can control her and win the fight, but if this fight stays standing for too long, I do favor Herrig. She has good kicks, good punches. She does slow down a bit, which if that were to happen, especially in a round 3 here, Jandiroba could probably get her back, get a sub. But I think Herrig is somewhat live here. I wouldn't recommend a bet on Jandiroba at 3-1, but she probably should win. But I'm going to actually take Felice Herrig here by decision, just because from what I've watched with Verna Jandiroba, I haven't been super impressed. And I think Herrig could get this one done. So move on to Jim Miller versus Vince from Hell Pichel. This is a closely lined fight.
Yep. Jim Miller's minus 105. Pichel is minus 125. The over and under 2.5. Over minus 135. Under plus 105. And this is a close fight, dude. I'm torn on this fight because in my head, I feel like Pichel's probably the better in the stand-up, but Miller's so dangerous in that first round. I mean,
yeah,
it's
when he
scary,
beat,
because I hate betting against Miller. He's a freaking legend, dude. I mean,
yeah, when he beat Roosevelt Roberts' last fight, that ruined
a lot of people's plays. I mean, yeah, we know what happened. Roosevelt Robert kind of put himself in that stupid situation, but you take someone to capitalize on it, and Jim Miller did, and that's what he does. He's been doing this a long time, tons of experience. Pichel, I remember on Tough 15. Remember? I mean, that's one of the best seasons ever. And Pichel freaking, he was tough then, and he's tough now. Like, he's just a tough dude.
He's a pretty good underrated fighter. He just doesn't fight a lot, so it's kind of hard to rate him in the grand scheme of things. Because this is a good fight for both guys.
Yeah,
because it shows the winner here might get a borderline top 15 guy, where they'll more than likely lose, and then continue on with their careers. So
I mean, yeah. So Pichel actually beat Roosevelt Roberts too. That they each beat Roosevelt Roberts their last fight, and then the fight before they both lost. Scott Holtzman, which we saw what kind of happened.
Yeah, he got smoked.
He got smoked,
and
in that particular fight, Holtzman was doing pretty good on the feet, and then he just started taking Miller down.
Yeah, he put on Miller. I think it was round 2 and 3.
Yeah,
he won 2 rounds pretty convincing.
Pretty convincing. And then you see, Pichel's last loss, which to Gregor Gillespie, which by all means, I mean, we know what that guy's made of. He's a great ass grappler wrestler, and he's going to get you where he wants to get you usually. Unless we bet on Kevin Lee and then we lose.
That was a tough night.
Man, I don't know, man. I think with the dog points, it's not dog anymore. I think with the dog points in the dog, I'm going to take Jim Miller. I don't want to bet against him here. I'm not going to bet this fight personally, but I think Pichel's got good hands, finds his range really well, cuts off the ring excellent, switches stance great, has power in both hands. I mean, he can knock you out with either hand. And if this fight gets into that second and third round, I'm going to worry about Miller. But I think Miller plays it a little smooth this fight. Like you said, Pichel, he's not a high volume guy. So I'm not worried about him coming out here and just like out voluming Jim Miller. Because that's usually what opponents will do. These younger guys outwork Jim Miller, and that's why he gasses out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have someone that's not doing that, then maybe Jim Miller hangs around. I'm going with Jim Miller.
Yeah. So Jim Miller, I lost with him last fight, bet Roosevelt Roberts. I picked him against Scott Holtzman. But before that, I did pick him to beat Clay Guida. And I had him over Jason Gonzalez. And, of course, I had Charles Oliveira to wreck him, which he did. But, Jim Miller, like you're saying, good first round. He is able to use his gas tank, get you in a bad position. And, he's still one of the better sub guys in the UFC. He gets so many submissions. It's ridiculous. And he's tough. He's durable. He's not really going to get one shot knocked out here by Pichel. Pichel's going to try. I think he's going to try to grind him out more. And I think Miller, I think, can outland him the first round. Second round, if Pichel turns it up, he might get that round. And third round, it's going to be a dicey, I think, split here. It's going to be a dicey split decision. I want Miller to win just for who he's fought and how good he is. But I think Pichel's probably the bigger guy. And I think he can probably pop him a little harder. Because with Miller, with what happened with Holtzman, because when I picked him against Holtzman, I thought he was actually going to control Holtzman pretty good on the ground, and that didn't happen at all. Like you said, Holtzman kind of turned it up on him, and Miller was toast. And then I thought Miller was done. Miller comes back, gets a nice win versus Roosevelt Roberts. But overall, I'm going to take Pichel. I'm not going to bet this. I think there's better spots on the card, but it should be a decently good, fun fight here for both guys, and it's smart matchmaking. Unlike, I I don't know if I'm breaking any news to you, but did you see who Donald Cowboy Cerrone is fighting?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Nico Price.
Nico Price would probably just fucking knock his ass clean off.
Yeah, one punch will knock Donald out, and that's it's an issue I have with the UFC. I know Donald wants to fight whoever everyone, but he's off 4 losses in a row. I think 2 or 3 of those are bad knockout losses. Now he's against a guy who that's all he knows how to do. Bad fight to me for Donald Cerrone there, but move on to pay-per-view main card. If you watched our preview show a couple weeks, our live reaction, you'll know where I'm at here. John Dodson taking on Merab Davis Shealy.
Yeah, Merab comes in at -250 now. He opened up at -170.
Yep.
Dodson at +195. The over and under 2.5 -330. The under 255. Preston, what do you got?
Yeah, so like I just said, you watched I think it was the Edmund fight. So we did a recap, live stream actually to the Edmund fight. They showed the pay-per-view card. I said, there's my bet. Merab, baby. And yeah, I am still all over Merab. A little more worried here. We got Diego in the chat. Diego, what's going on? You got any bets you like in Diego or any tips you got? We'll be on tomorrow to live stream as well. But yeah, like I was saying, yeah, I like Merab here. I think Merab can grapple John down, use his top game, smother him, just keep taking him down. My issue with John is he's so much smaller than pretty much anyone in that division. Yeah, he knocked out Nathaniel Wood, but I think Nathaniel Wood kind of played into his game a little too much and didn't use Nathaniel Wood his advantages, because Nathaniel Wood is a pretty decent grappler too, but he gets in love with his striking. So, but here I think Merab does do enough, controls him, avoids that big knockout shot. Because Dodson also, it's not like John's throwing 100 punches around. He's kind of trying just to loop that big overhand left, jab you, and like run away basically. And one thing we know with Merab is he's not going to let you run away. He's going to get a hold of you, take you down. You'll scramble back up, take you down, scramble back up, take you down, round ends, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and that's the shit that Merab, sometimes he'll let your ass up just so he can take you back down to fucking break the record, because he just wants to keep breaking his own record.
Yeah, and it's not like, and that's the deal. I think people...
And he doesn't fucking... What I can't stand about Merab is he doesn't put any damage on you when he's on the ground. To me, that makes the difference from him versus Khabib. Khabib will fucking punish you. Merab doesn't do that. He just doesn't.
Yeah, and that's the deal. It's not like, because I know
it's
people...
a point fighting style.
Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, it's not fun to watch. Yeah. You don't like it, but since... I want to say when GSP really started to wrestle, that's been the UFC kind of, where it's whoever can control the other guy and eliminate their strengths wins. So, yeah, I think Merab can just do it for 3 straight rounds. Pretty boring decision. I guess if you can get, because I don't think Merab's going to knock him out or tap him out. So instead of laying the 250, I guess you could take Merab by decision and maybe see if you can get a halfway decent line.
I think that would be a pretty good play, because the decision is -150.
Yeah, so you're cutting a whole dollar. So instead of laying $250 to win 100, you're laying 150.
And honestly, to me, that's his only way of winning this fight is a decision, because that's how he wins every fucking fight. You can look at his record; it's full of decisions, and they're dominant decisions. Don't get me wrong, a decision, but. And nothing's going to change. And you look at Dodson's record too. He's got a shit ton of decisions that have gone the other way, because he has been a little bit more laid back, doesn't throw a ton, and that's kind of has been his issue. But he has changed camps. He has moved on. He admitted that he wasn't getting any better. I think we see a rejuvenated Dodson. Is that enough for Merab? Probably not. Merab's a beast. We know what he does. He likes to bring it to you, throw you down. I mean, let you come back up. Although, this is a different animal. One, Merab has never faced anyone like Dodson. Let's just be fucking honest, dude. Dodson has a way better resume on his record than Dodson does. I mean, Merab. And these guys that Merab set a record against, they're fucking no ones, dude. They're bums. It's not like they're great great
Yeah. The
guys.
last fight, he was supposed to fight Borg, and then Borg pulled out, and then he fought.
I would have loved to seen that fight.
Yeah, the Combate champion.
We won't ever see that fight probably because Borg's out now. So, and the thing with Dotson is he does run a lot. So Merab's going to have to do a little bit of chasing. I see Merab having better luck in this fight in the clinch. Because one thing is, you could take down, and there's been a few fights where he only gets 6 takedowns. You think of 6 takedowns like that's like his minimum, but that's a fuck ton for a lot of other fighters, you know. And that's kind of crazy to think about because that's just what he does. But Dotson's a little different, man. He's more slick, small. He scrambles well. He's 80% takedown defense. He does run a lot. So there is a slight worry, I'm going to be honest. Merab's stand-up game's garbage right now to me. It's slow. It doesn't do any justice to him. Lord knows he doesn't need to use it, and I hope he doesn't think he has to because he will get punished if he does. But I don't see that happening. I see the same type Merab fight the way he always fights. He's going to go for those takedowns. He will get a hold of Dotson at some point. Let's just hope Dotson doesn't clip him because that's going to be all she wrote. I say that, but Merab's tough too. Like it's going to take more than a 1-punch knockout. Dotson's going to have to punch him and get on him and punch him again and get on him to fucking finish the shit. It's not going to be like a 1-punch knockout. Merab's tough, and he's got probably the best cardio in the whole fucking division. That's one thing you got to like about him. So I'm going with Merab. He will be the bigger guy. He will be. I'm not reluctant because I'm not a huge Merab fan, and I do like Dotson a little bit more personally, but this isn't about personal. This is about winning money. So I got to go with Merab, man. I think he's got the better path to victory there.
Yeah, so we got some people in the chair. Diego says he has Stipe round 4 finish. Vera decision. 7 Ninjas, what's going on? 7 Ninjas says my money is on the Russian. He's training with Aljo. Parlay piece for sure. Dotson going down.
Yeah.
And 7 Ninjas. That's kind of where we're at the 2.
And we might up on that decision because that does look good. I mean, I don't think Dotson has never been knocked out. Merab's not going to be the one to knock out Dotson.
No, I think Merab's just going to
control the hell out of him.
Yeah, and that's
like he always does.
That's kind of why, when I said it live, granted, I didn't watch a ton of John Dotson, but I'm just like, until he fights a elite striker, I'm not betting against the guy who's getting 10, 15 takedowns a fight. It sucks to watch, because if I already know what's going to happen, people are going to bet Dotson, get pissed off because he gets taken down over and over, because he'll probably, Merab's face might look worse at the end of the fight because he might get hit with a couple uppercuts, a couple jabs, but Merab's going to control the fight for 12, 13 minutes of the fight. And I think he just controls them. 250 sucks. Like you said, it was 170, 175. When we saw it, I think that was 2 weeks ago, I said for Merab, it was 175, but now up to 250. Yeah, you can parlay it. Or if you listen to our interview with Miami Eric on Monday, he says you're getting, 40 cents on the dollar. You lay 1,000, you win 400. Wouldn't you want 400 a week? Like that's what he tells us to do. So, we might do something with Merab there. We have our MyBookie account. So, we'll talk about it tomorrow. So, move on here. I think, where are we at?
We're at Burns next. We got Herbert Burns coming as the big favorite here. Minus 270 versus Pineda plus 210, the Pitbull. Is that correct? That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have my freaking. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, Burns is 270. Pineda is plus 210. Over and under 1.5. Over plus 105. Under minus 135. Man, Burns is tough, man. We've seen what he's been doing lately. He's got power in those hands. His stand-ups, you don't want to sleep on that stand-up because it's been working, but he's a whole nother level black belt, man. I got to admit it. He's just on a different level than a lot of these guys. And Pineda, I mean, he got cut once from the UFC, I think.
Yeah, he fought a while ago in the UFC.
And then he got cut, and I think he had some issues with the SADA or something. And then after that, he like started losing his fights. The guy's been sub 6 times. Pineda, he's a wild fighter, man. He comes out there and he's going to scrap. He's a tough ass kid. Don't get me wrong. He will scrap. He's been in this game long enough. But I think Burns gets it done here, man. I really like Burns. I think he gets that sub. I think when it gets to the mat, it's going to be a whole different story. And I think that Burns, the only thing I will say is Burns, this will be probably his best test to date. I mean, Pineda's no one to slouch on. He's a good all-around MMA fighter. And Burns, he's so used to those one-round subs or knockouts or whatever. I think this is going to go into, the deeper rounds here. I really do. Because Pineda, one thing I noticed about him is his scrambling ability is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sick. Like, that's probably the most exciting thing I've watched on his film was the scrambling ability. But that will get you caught. You can't scramble against someone like Burns, who's on a whole nother level in jiu-jitsu. So I'm going Burns here, minus 270. I don't know if I'd lay the minus 270. I'd have to look at a prop, maybe by sub. What do you think, Preston?
Yeah, so maybe somewhat fun fact. They both have a fight against Movlid Kabayulev. Daniel Pineda knocked this guy out in 29 seconds, and Herbert Burns got controlled for 3 rounds pretty easily. So that doesn't bode well for Herbert Burns. But like you said, Burns is on the ground. Definitely one of the best in the division. His stand-up has gone better. Only worry, 3 fights in the UFC, 3 round 1 finishes. Last fight, he took out Evan Dunham very easily. Before that, he knocked out Nate Landwehr, who I don't know who anyone's a fan of that guy with the way he talks trash. And with a nice knee. Before that, he subs out Derek Minner. Standing, this is another case where you don't want the elite jiu-jitsu guy to get in love with his stand-up, because if he does get Pineda down, eventually he should find that neck, find that arm, and get a finish. Pineda standing, like I said, moves around quick. I've seen him where, he has decent kicks, decent punches. Burns is getting better standing, but Burns isn't his
brother. Work in progress.
Yeah, he's not his brother.
But what I've seen, though, is he's getting a lot better quick. It's not like these slow fucking, I don't know who to compare him to. Maybe back in the old days watching where Doom try to strike, now he's like, you think he's like really good,
right,
compared to where he was,
Right, yeah.
Burns is going a lot quicker than that. He's moving in the right day. And look who his brother is. And look at,
yeah, Gilbert's very, very
by
good.
all means, he's going to probably, go quicker than other people. But
yeah, I'm going to take Burns via subs sometime in the fight.
Yeah, via subs minus 150, by the way.
Yeah, so that's definitely the look I'm going with, Burns by sub. Yeah,
I agree. What do you think of Pineda, though? I mean, he's a tough son of a bitch, and you know what I'm talking about, the way he's scrambling, right? Like, he's good at scrambling, but that's where you can get caught in this jiu-jitsu game. It's scrambling too much, you know what I mean?
Right, and he came back, and he was in PFL. Like I said, he had that quick finish against Movlid, and then the next fight he put out Jeremy Kennedy, who's an also former UFC fighter who wasn't that great. But yeah, I don't know. This is just another kind of weird one to me. It's like, okay, let's give. It's not a layup for Burns, obviously, but let's just find this guy another fight, give him another win. Maybe he showcases a little more stand up, and maybe after this fight we give him a live, fighter.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're planning on, and I do know that Burns came in overweight, didn't he?
Yeah, I know. Clint, he mentioned that he was a little cautious now because he has a lot riding with Burns, but I still think he's the better fighter.
And we saw it last week. The guy came in overweight and he fucking whipped that ass. So
yeah, I don't think it's a huge deal, but it is slightly concerning. But I'm gonna go with Burns via subs sometime in the fight. Move on to a pretty fun fight here. There should be a finish here. We have Junior Dos Santos taking on Jairzinho Rosenstruck.
Let's see where my line's at. They left me. MyBookie.ag. Go put in Pub Sports. You'll get 50% match your money.
Yeah, weird. Okay, so we have a question here from Diego. If you bet on a fight and you pick a way to win, how much money do you get? use DC versus Stipe as an example, please.
Okay, we'll bring that up right now. Let's do that.
Yeah. So, what, Diego? You like?
So let's say you like Stipe by KO, TKO, or DQ.
Yeah, that's what he likes. Yep.
Plus 170.
Okay.
And then, I mean, it goes down the chart. Stipe by submission plus 1,800. Cormier by decision plus 400. Draw plus 500. I mean, yeah, that's how you win money.
Yeah. Okay. So Diego, Stipe by KO, TKO is plus 170. So, and I think that's where you have to bet whoever you like here. If you like JDS or you like Rosenstruck, you bet him by KO, TKO because that should be what happens here.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any subs. I mean, we don't see JDS taking, shooting for takedowns and going for subs and things like that. He's going to use his feet. He's got good calf kicks. Looks like he's in great shape. We all know what he used to be. Keyword used to be. Is he that anymore? We'll find out. But to me, Rosenstruck, man, yeah, he looked bad against one of the baddest people on the planet, but I think he's a better kickboxer. I'm just going to be honest. I think he's better striker on the feet than Santos. I didn't see the reach, but I imagine he's probably longer. Let me see. I didn't see the reach, but I imagine he's longer, 78, 77. So not a big deal. No. So I just think he's better, man. I think he counters better. And if JDS is going to wing these big ass fucking hooks and these crazy power shots, I just see that Rosenstruck will just counter it and put it to him. I mean, once you're chinny, dude. And he's shown to be chinny. He gets hit now and he starts to crumble. So I'm going Rosenstruck here. I think it's easy win.
Yeah,
I hate to say it. We all know what freaking JDS has done. I don't even need to break him down. Everyone knows Junior Dos Santos.
Yeah, I just don't like Rosenstruck at all, honestly. Yeah, I think he has good kicks. I think where he's gonna, if he catches JDS, I think it's actually gonna be a straight right down the middle, and that will crack him. But again, Dos Santos, yeah, he got knocked out by Blades standing. Blades is a very big guy, very,
Yeah, but Blades is not known to knock people out. He controls people.
Yeah,
Blades,
but he's getting better, though.
Yeah, but this guy's a master fucking kickboxer. He's been knocking people out for a living, like forever.
Yeah.
So you can't compare the two, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean,
well, that just goes to testament that JDS's chin's a fucking shit.
Yeah, I mean, but then we can go to the streak like competition too, though, because he finished Derek Lewis, tied to Ivasa, decisions Ivanov. Then he loses to knocked out by Ngannou. Rosenstruck got knocked out by Ngannou by 20 seconds, and then the loss versus Blades. So, is this a huge step down? No, this is probably, Rosenstruck's probably right at the. I think he's, man, I don't know. I was gonna say I think he's worse than Derek Lewis, but
oh no.
I'm not.
I think he's going to be more active this time around. He's a fucking kickboxer. Like, he's got to show it. He's been a little conservative. I have a feeling he's gonna let it all out.
Yeah, like if he actually does throw a lot, I think he could clip JDS. That's the deal when you do back Dos Santos. You know what you're gonna get. He does. He comes out, he kicks, and he throws that big uppercut, that big right hook, that big left hook, some body kicks. Like you're saying, we know he won't go for a sub. He just tries to really accumulate damage on you and hurt you. Because he did. Dos Santos, prior to these two losses, has gone cracked. Like, tied to Ivasa cracked him, and, his chin stood up for that fight. Rosenstruck probably does have bigger one-hit power, but Dos Santos isn't Andrei Arlovsky. Dos Santos, I think, is still a capable heavyweight fighter, top 10 type fighter. And for Rosenstruck, this would be a huge win. And if he loses, it's not a huge deal either. But I'm gonna go with JDS. JDS probably round 2 TKO.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I do. You brought up a good point. I do back Rosenstruck because he is probably the more hungry guy. He's coming off a loss. He just beat Overeem. He was almost right up in the big dog contention. If he gets this fight over JDS, this is big. It's a big fight for him. He's going to move up for sure. Probably he's 9-7. He's going to move up above JDS, don't you think?
Yeah, if
or take a spot.
if
For sure.
Rosenstruck beats Dos Santos, I think they would do maybe versus Lewis, some or Olenek, somewhere around there. And honestly, if that's a perfect fight for him, an Olenek, because every time Olenek fights a capable striker, he gets knocked out. So yeah,
So that's another reason why I think Rosenstruck has more to fight for than JDS. JDS is on the tail end of his career, and I just don't see him have that fire he once had. And that's the only real reason. We know he's a more accomplished, better all around MMA fighter. Rosenstruck on the feet, I think, has the edge in the strictly on the feet. But I mean, so it's hard to bet against JDS. Don't get me wrong. I'm just going with what I like, and I don't like backing guys that have weak chins.
Yeah, my only thing though with Dos Santos, I thought he was pretty much toast after he was getting his ass kicked bad by Kane, and he came back, gets knocked out by Stipe again, then he comes back and wins those 3 fights in a row, loses these last 2. This is a very well matched fight, so we'll definitely. I hope we see more than a 20-second knockout like we did versus Ngannou with Rosenstruck. So hopefully we see a decent fight. But
yep.
Yeah, we move on here. Huge implications for both guys. Pretty crazy. This is the co-main event.
And the line's fucking dropping.
Yeah, a lot of people like Cheeto.
Sean O'Malley's he's opened at minus 320. Now he's minus 275. Coming in versus Cheeto Vera, plus 215. Over and under 2.5, minus 115 each way. What do you mean? I know you're a big Sean O'Malley fan. I like him too. How can you not like the guy? But what do you got? Because I got question marks with Sean O'Malley. I don't know enough. Only because we haven't seen enough. How is he going to withstand on the mat? Vera's a true black belt, isn't he?
Yeah, Vera does have good grappling, good. He doesn't really sub many people. He has a few subs, but it's kind of more that they get taxed. They're kind of like gassed out to finish.
Right.
And Vera slips the chokes, and does something there. But
same thing with you bring that up, and then I just watched the Vera Uel fight right before I came here, and it's the same thing. Uel was freaking gassed out.
Yeah.
On the tail end, Uel, in my opinion, was winning the first round pretty good, but looking great, and then just Vera was just walking forward nonstop, eating shots. Tough as nails kid, but he took advantage of someone that was tired and was grounding and pounding Uel to death. So,
and that is, I do have that worry. So, Seven Ninja says Sugar by submission or decision. Sugar by submissions plus 1,800.
That would be sick.
If Sean O'Malley gets a submission over Marlon Vera, I will
send you $100.
Yeah,
mark my words.
Yeah, I almost agree with Jeff there because I really don't see that happening. But
we have, if you like my bookie.ag, another reason to put in that Pup Sports promo code. O'Malley by sub is plus $2 grand, dude.
So 20 to 1,
$100 to win $2 grand.
What a call that would be. But yeah, so this is a great fight. Marlon Vera is definitely a guy I actually do like him. I don't like. I hate when, not really my favorite fighters, but fighters I do like fight guys who I'm very high on, and Sean O'Malley's a guy I am personally very high on. The issue is if this fight leaves round 1 and Vera actually does start walking Sean down, we've seen Sean O'Malley fight in the 3rd round twice. He won a decision versus Terrion Ware, and he won a decision versus Andrei Sukhmatov. Takes the 2 years off, comes back in March, 1st round KO versus Quinones. 2 months later, 1st round KO, Eddie Wineland. Vera leaves his chin up high. Vera gets caught. Sean O'Malley has dynamite in his right hand. It's not.
Cheeto Vera doesn't just leave his head up high. He uses his head to block punches.
Yeah. He takes shots.
So much abuse. Yeah. It's almost crazy to watch.
Yeah, and that's what I think. I personally like. Do you have O'Malley round 1 KO?
Yeah, because here's the thing, man, and I think the same thing. Like, if this thing stays standing somehow, fucking O'Malley will.
Yeah, I think he's gonna kill him. Because originally, Sean O'Malley, he opened. This was actually the opening line, 275, 215. He got bet up to 380, and ever since then, money's just flooded in on Vera. I actually think O'Malley dances on Vera pretty bad.
Man, they're kind of favoring you, man, because they're saying O'Malley round 1 plus 250 only.
Yeah, that's not that great. I saw one person put out plus 400 there. maybe that was with the local, but
3-round fight. I mean, fuck, a lot's gonna happen in 3 rounds in this fight, man.
yeah, so the worry is if this fight leaves round one, because I do think Vera will be. I don't think he's really going to control O'Malley, but he's going to stick his head down, throw those kicks, clinch him up against the cage, throw those knees, those elbows he loves. And, if he hits O'Malley could start to gas. Round 3, O'Malley's with his coach like, what the fuck do? I thought I'd knock him out already. And, it might go in his head. And then Vera, we've seen it. He gets third-round finishes. He kind of breaks his opponent and takes him out. I just think O'Malley just has way too much skill for him. This is a good, fair matched fight. I don't know if it should be co-main event, but it's a good, fun fight. And I'm just gonna go ride the Sugar train. Sugar round 1, KO straight right.
Here's a bet that everyone's been betting on on MMA Twitter and shit like that I've seen. Fight goes the distance. Yes is -115. No, -125.
Yeah, so I would personally take the no. I think
you're saving a lot of fucking money.
Yeah,
even whoever wins, that's the even better advantage. Because if you're going around 1, I mean, you might as well hit that and the fucking fight goes the distance at that point. Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think
split up your money. That's better than spending -370 or now it's -275. But I would still lay 275. I'm just gonna be honest. I think O'Malley fucking on the feet, it's no fucking question asked. It is gonna be in that clinch. Those knees, are they gonna hurt that body? This ain't the Sean O'Malley we've seen, the skin and bones one. Like, he's put on some muscle, you can tell. His body's finally kind of developed into a thicker version of himself, and he's really, I guess those 2 years have been working hard. And I know he trains with black belts and he trains with freaking grapplers, so that's just something we don't have to see. So I think he can hang with Chito Vera on the ground. I don't think that will be an issue. From what we have seen from his back, he does work. I mean, he's always looking for the sub, and he's always fighting from his back, throwing elbows. He's not just going to lay there. We know that. So,
yeah, I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news, but it's not like Vera's, when he was on this huge win streak, was beating killers.
No.
He beat Andre Ewell, Nolan Hernandez, Frankie Science, who we just saw get his ass kicked by Jonathan Martinez, Guido Canetti, who isn't good, and Wuji Buren, some Japanese can.
I'll be honest, too. Ewell, to me, was the closest version of Sean O'Malley, and he was having his way with Vera, getting that jab, getting those punches. He was landing tons of shots on Vera. But the difference is O'Malley's power and precision, like he always talks about.
Yeah, I think it's
clip someone on that chin at the right button. Like, fighters, they know that sweet spot, and we've seen it happen a lot. Like, and we've seen a few fighters. I can't think of the names right now, but I'll have to thank and tweet them out. They've called, I forget who it was, man. He talked about that button on your chin. He used to do it all the time. Anyway, we'll get to that. But yeah, I like Sean O'Malley. I do like Vera as a fighter. I'm not a big fan of him personally, but he's got a cool story. He fucking came here with shit and worked himself up to this level, and I think that's pretty badass. So his backstory's cool. Good fighter. Get scared in the clinch a little bit, and you do worry a little bit about that black belt. But I think O'Malley is a question mark there, only because we haven't seen it. I think that he probably can hang with Vera. Obviously, he's been training with black belts forever. So
yeah, and so I mean, I'm not going to say this is biased, but Sean O'Malley, to me, especially from what I've seen in his last 2 fights and what I think he's going to do this fight, he's a guy that, like my other guy, Charles Oliveira, I'm probably going to pick or bet Sean O'Malley every fight he's in. Personally, he hasn't shown me anything to doubt him.
The only thing you can doubt is his people he's been facing.
Yeah, and maybe
which has been shit.
Yeah,
you have to
admit. Maybe his wrestling, but so that's what happened with Conor. And then Conor, once he got, he knocked out Mendez, he knocked out Poirier. There's fights like a tough fight for Sean O'Malley is going to be a Marlon Moraes. That's going to be a tough fight. Corey Sandhagen, an Aljo. But Marlon Vera isn't any of those guys. Marlon Vera, like you were saying, he gets hit constantly. And Seven Ninjas in the chat here saying pretty much I don't want to say it's a super public play, but we definitely agree. Sean and Murad parlay is minus 113. That's the play. Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to have something on each or parlayed or straight.
I honestly, too, if you don't like Marab, because I know a lot of people are high on Dotson and they're kind of scared of that fight. Well, you could probably put in Burns and O'Malley. It's kind of the same thing. They're both going to, Marab and Burns are both going to be pretty dominant on the ground. So,
yeah. So Ali says, Du Bois, what's going on, Ali?
what's up, Ali?
And yeah, so we move on to main event time. We have the trilogy, the final bout.
Final
Stipe, Miocic.
Well, the final bout for DC, for both of these guys, because this will be DC's last fight. So
yeah, for DC,
the last
Cormier
one,
versus Miocic 3. Yeah, let's.
I mean, this is right now at even freaking money. This opened up at what was it? It opened up Stipe's favor, didn't it? Or was he the dog?
It's hovered around 110, 120 pretty much all year.
Okay,
I would say.
It's minus 115 right now. Over and under 2.5, minus 145. Over the under plus 115. 5-round fight. We've seen both these fights. The first one, I don't think went over 2.5, did it?
No, it was round one.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, and then the last one did go over. He got stopped in what, the fourth or the fifth?
Fourth round. Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's a hard fucking number to call. I probably would stay away. If I had to lean away, I'd take the over. Because I think DC comes out and wrestles here, man. I'm going to be honest with you. He got too cute with his hands, and by all means, he looked fucking sharp with his boxing. But he got too cute, and he outworked himself, and he gassed out. And those big shots, Stipe made a championship-minded adjustment and started fucking going after that body and started wearing and tearing on Cormier. I mean, that was an excellent game plan, or whoever called that in his corner. Like, oh my God, like that's excellent. That's what you want to see. That's the corners that we always bet on, because we bet on these wrestlers. They go out there and freaking stand up and fight. Like, we want you to wrestle. Where's the game plan?
Yeah.
But that was definitely a championship adjustment mid-fight. So tip all your hats to Stipe for that. But I think DC, man, he showed us the first two fights that he got Stipe's number. Like, he outboxed him, he can out wrestle him. I don't see things changing much, man. I just don't. Stipe looks to be in a little bit better shape, in my opinion, than his last fight. He looked a little bit slower. He kind of looks trimmed up, a little bit fitter this fight. So maybe that will help his speed, his hand speed. Man, I just don't see much changing. What do you think? Because I can't. It's hard for me to bet against DC. It's the perfect scenario for the guy. Go out a champion. His last fight, he's already called it. This is his last fight. The trilogy, the last one. He's going to go out a champion.
Yeah, so here we go. 7 Ninjas in the comment section saying Stipe looks lean and cut up.
He does.
DC has the dad bod going on.
But he always has, man.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
And I got DC decision. The script is set. That's what 7 Ninja says. And yeah, I'm actually with you. If you know it, I had that parlay. It was going to hopefully finish with DC till loses. So got to start anew, so to speak. And yeah, I mean, DC, that's the deal. Like, DC, he never looks super impressive, super imposing, where he's just like, because he doesn't have the John Jones, the Cain Velasquez, where he literally is beating the hell out of you, but he wins. He takes you down, controls you. You give up your back, your neck. He taps you out, or he pounds you out, or he wins a decision pretty easily. My only worry is, so the first fight and second fight, if you rewatch it, Stipe was getting caught with a lot of eye pokes. So DC likes to throw those fingers in the eye. If the referee actually starts deducting points, I'm a little worried there. But like you're saying, second fight, first 3 rounds, DC took his hands like a lot, put him down, and just punched right over him. And
he does that because it's kind of a diffuser, because Stipe has such a long reach. If it's kind of like like an illusion almost. DC's going to put his hands up, try to find that range, and naturally that guy is going to be like, the other guy's going to kind of play patty cake with him. It's like, all right, get in the DC's fucking realm here, buddy. Let's do it.
Yeah, because even John Jones, that's what he used to do a lot, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, where, you find the range, and then, the other guy puts the hands up, then you drop them, then you get popped. And DC's been doing it a lot. And now Diego here says Stipe round 4 TKO, so basically the same thing that happened last fight. And, yeah, it could happen because the deal was DC. So DC wrestles him round 1, literally, like, picks him over his head, throws him, slams him good, controls him on the ground. But, again, he starts to gas. Cormier doesn't have the best gas tank. But, like, I mean, in my opinion...
Stipe, though, I mean, I know he's got the edge gas tank, but he's not known to have, like, the best gas tank out of heavyweights. He does have a good one, I will admit that.
Yeah, that and Stipe is a, not full-time, I don't think, but somewhat part-time firefighter. He does still do that, during the offseason. So who knows what his training's like. We know where DC is at, a.k.a. training with the best of the best year in, year out. He's ready for this fight. It sets up too good to me, like not to take DC. I can, if Stipe was like a Cain Velasquez, like a super dominant guy, that's the other thing. I mean, this might be, blasphemy, but people saying the winner of this fight's the greatest heavyweight in MMA history to me is pure bullshit. Stipe, maybe, but Stipe isn't really a household name. I would say Cain Velasquez had a better heavyweight career than Stipe. And, like, then, that's not even factoring Fedor. And DC, what's he at? 3 heavyweight fights? Like, he subs out Derek Lewis, beats in the UFC, beats what's his face? Beats Stipe twice, and then loses the third one. And then Strikeforce obviously beat Josh Burnett, Antonio Silva. He had some good wins there. Comes to the UFC, beats Roy Nelson, Frank Mir. But he's not the best heavyweight of all time if he wins this fight. My personal opinion, I still think it's Fedor. But yeah, I just think it's DC's.
You know what? Let's see Francis get that rematch, because I think he has something different to say about that too.
Yeah, because Francis hits like a truck. You're right. Francis could knock out Stipe, and there's no way in hell DC, if he wins, he says he's going to retire. I believe him. I think he will retire, because there's no way he's going to win and fight Francis. That's suicide.
Fucking no way.
But yeah, I just, it's a smaller cage. DC's said it online. He says he plans to wrestle, and I think he's gonna wrestle.
You do have to worry about the wrestle, though, because I think that is what hurts his gas tank a bit. Because that first round he wrestled, he gassed out, but he looked great with his hands. And I feel like as a wrestler, it's probably easier to sit and bang and throw your hands. You're not using as much energy, probably, right? Mm-hmm. As far as like grinding like DC does,
right?
Where he just pins you against the cage, waits till the perfect timing, and then double legs takes you down, and then he's going to ground and pound your ass, which I love when DC gets on top of you, because he throws those fucking heavy elbows, man. Which I love watching fighters that wrestle use their wrestling, get on top of someone, and beat the shit out of them. Don't sit there and wait for top control. Beat the hell out of them. You're already on top. What do you have to lose? So,
yeah, I mean,
this is a tough fight, man. I don't know. It's a coin flip, in my opinion. It could go either way, but I'm siding with DC. I think he's looked better and won the first round, and then probably the first 2 rounds of the last fight, or the first 3, right?
Yeah,
he won all 3 rounds, in my opinion.
I believe so. And then, he just got knocked out round 4. We had a pretty good comment here. Ali says DC was coming off back surgery his last fight. He was still winning the fight. He now has a focused camp where he doesn't have to coach. Quarantine allowed him a focused camp. I'm with you guys, DC all day.
Nice.
So that's what Ali says. And yeah, that's the deal. For me, I know it's not a huge deal, but Stipe still does the firefighting on the side. He trains with the guys he's trained with his whole career. He doesn't train with a super camp. DC's at AKA still. Fighting the best of the best. Khabib's not there now because of
DC, though.
Travel, but
and today in the weigh-ins, I thought he looked as fit as ever. Like, he didn't look like he had a huge dad bod compared to what I've seen him in the past.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's been up as high as like 250, 55. He weighed in at 236, and Stipe was 233. Like, I mean, the people. So I know why people are taking Stipe, because they thought round 2 he was cracking a bit. 3. 3, he was hurting him a little bit. and then 4 he got the finish. But the deal too is DC just kind of he didn't slow down, but he got in love with the striking.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he really fell in love with the striking, and he's made it known he plans to wrestle, take the guy down, and get a finish. I mean, it's not going to be easy to take Stipe Miocic down, but I just this is like, are you going back against Michael Jordan in the 1998 NBA Finals?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the last one against Utah. Yeah, fuck, I ain't laying my money on Utah.
Like that's what I'm like. It's not like perfect, but
it's pretty fucking perfect. How else can you be set up? I mean, you're going off the champion of no more bullshit. Of course, you're gonna have to listen to John Jones for the next fucking 2-3 months on Twitter, but
because you couldn't beat him. But yeah, I just think DC gets it done. 7 Ninja says he won't bet big cash on DC. Yeah, I mean,
Tapology agrees with y'all. I mean, 56% of Tapology is on Stipe, and I know a ton of people that are.
Yeah, I know, and they think he's gonna knock him out again because DC got caught against what's his face Rumble, but even against there he gets caught, then he goes, okay, F this, wrestle time, and that's what he's gonna do.
And I hear too the strategy. Well, Stipe is gonna come out and start hitting that body right away. Don't you think Daniel Cormier knows that? Like,
yeah,
he's fucking game plan. I mean, that's one thing is he's a smart champion, dude. He's gonna fucking game plan and yeah, he didn't listen to what his people were saying last fight. It was to wrestle, but I think he does this time, man. Like you said, he's been preaching it all in his interviews, and man, I'm ready for this fight. I'm really excited.
Yeah, this is a very good fight. The card, I don't think it's the best card, but for the top 2 fights, I'm very interested in.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The last 6, I'd love it. I'd love to see that quality every week.
Right.
The last 6 fights, because I mean, dude, I'm gonna be honest. This Parker fucking Porter and Dawkins, they don't belong in the UFC. TJ Brown and Chavez, I mean, we'll see, but Brown hasn't been fighting in how long again?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just tough, man. It's tough to bet on stuff like that. And then you got the tough ass Kaya Hawaiian 85, from Louisiana. The kid's tough as nails, but Kelly, I mean, you don't know much about him. He hasn't fought in.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's just hard to bet those first 4 or 5 fights. And once you get into these main cards, that's where the money's been made. I mean,
yeah,
especially the main event.
Yeah, the main event's been very good. We hit Lewis, then the week before we got screwed because Edmund couldn't get it done, and then prior to that was a very close till Whitaker fight. But before that, we had a really good run. So.
Yep. Well, let's give out our best bets tomorrow, guys. Join us. We got Clint from Die Hard MMA here. He's going to hang out with us for the final 6 or so, maybe a little bit earlier. I want y'all to please hit the like and subscribe button so you can get our updates. Go check out James Lynch's interviews with some of these UFC fighters. 2 or 3 of them have called exactly what they're going to do, and they went out and did it. If you take those bets and you just run with them, you'd be like 3-0 right now. I mean, he's got 3 interviews on there where the guy called what they're going to do, come out and done it. So, and just check out the videos in general. He's got some good ones. A new one with Connolly, who's about have neck surgery.
Yep.
He's in the hospital right now doing the damn interview. So pretty cool videos. Check those out. Give us a follow, give us a like. And we want to thank our sponsors as always. I'll let Preston end out with that.
Yeah. So, if you guys suffer from stress, anxiety, joint pain, PTSD, or insomnia, go join our friends at Natural Heights here in San Antonio, Texas. They're located at 1880 Nacogdoches Road. Phone number 210-592-1060. And as Jeff just said, best bet for me, best bet's going to be Merab by decision -150.
Let me ask everyone: do we still have a good little audience?
Everyone's there's
talking?
A few. Yeah,
I want to see because that's something we didn't have a lot of chat around. This Dotson Merab fight. I want to know because, man, I'm just like, I don't know what it is about it. It's just scary to me. I don't know why. Is there a reason I should be scared? Does anyone have anything on that?
Guys, who do you guys like in the chat here? Merab taking on John Dodson. I know you were even saying this when I first brought up the bet of Merab. So
no, I like Merab. Don't get me wrong. I think he's going to win. It scares me. I mean, especially with the line now. I would have loved to got him at 170 is my problem.
Yeah.
But does anyone have anything on that fight, or are y'all all in on Merab? I know he's, for very good reason, the heavy favorite. But if not, I'll go into my best bet, which I believe will be Herbert Burns by submission plus what was it? -150.
Yeah, I think it was -150.
Actually, no, I'm not going to take that. Fuck that. I don't like that bet. I mean, I like Burns straight up. Best bet. Fuck, I'll go Rosenstruck. I'll take Rosenstruck -125.
Okay.
Rosenstruck. Here it is.
Yeah. So 7 Ninjas says Marab and Sugar Parlay.
Yeah. We got that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there, 7 Ninjas. And yeah, if you guys are betting,
We like that parlay. We're gonna lock that in.
like always, go to mybookie.ag, enter promo code PubSports. You'll get 50% deposit bonus with a minimum of $99. And hopefully we all can make some good money this week. And yeah, I think that about does it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like in love with Rosenstruck. I don't know why I put that out there, but it's like flipping a coin, dude. I'll be honest, because I do like Generoba by sub at +250. That's the one I really do like. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Fuck it, I'll change it to that.
Okay, so Jeff's going with Generoba by submission
+250.
Yeah,
Best bet.
7 Ninjas just said Rosenstruck is a ballsy play. Ali says, I'm not betting Dotson versus Marab. Dotson can't be finished, as you're right, Jeff. Hard sell for me on Marab. So, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you guys can take Dotson. I'm fine, you know.
The only problem, the hard sell for me is Marab hasn't fucking fought anyone, dude. He's fought nobody, and Dotson has, and no one's finished Dotson. And in fact, Dotson has finished a lot of fucking high quality fighters. He put Peter Yan on his ass too. So it's just a hard fight. I mean, I think people are discrediting Dotson, and they always do. I think that's what really irritates me the most. Marab, I know what he can do, and I know what he probably will do. So, I mean, it's a safe bet, but you know what I mean? I just feel like Dotson gets disrespected quite a bit, especially for someone that's never even fucking KO'd, man. I mean,
I think it's a hard stylistic matchup for him with the small cage.
Like, for real. I mean, I know Marab, but is he really a fucking -270 favorite now? Like,
he's a very good wrestler.
Yeah, but Dotson, I mean, he's so hard to hold down. He's so fast. He's not going to have 12, 20 takedowns like he does versus everyone else. He might get 6, 7. That's still a fucking ton, but Dotson's not that easy. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so like Jeff's saying, guys, make sure like this video, share it with your friends, you know, show us Talkin Hands. You know, we got merch on pubsportsradio.com. Support us to help support you guys. So
we also have the odds now. I don't know if anyone's seen, but we have all the odds for all sports on from 5 or 6 different bookies. Go check our lines. The calculators all work. I use the probability win percentage calculator all the time. It tells you like a 150, a 160. He's got 60% chance to win. Mm-hmm. It tells you stuff like that. So I like looking at those kind of numbers. I use those calculators a lot. Go to the website, pubsportsradio.com.
Yeah. So go there. As always, join us tomorrow night. We'll be live probably around 9 o'clock for the pay-per-view.
And we'll have some money on this shit.
Yeah. We're not gonna lose drop $3,000 like we did with Edmund Shabazian, because that guy's a joke. We're actually gonna hopefully win a few grand tomorrow. And yeah, join us tomorrow, 9 p.m. pay-per-view, UFC 252 live with Dired MMA. This is Talkin Hands. We will see you guys tomorrow night.
Later, guys. Thank y'all.